All right. Wonderful,
Okay.
Jesse.
All right. So, very good morning again to everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizers, Exabytes, as well as the co-organizer, MA Privileges, for inviting MDEC to say a few words. And now, certainly, this webinar is timely for professional services firms to consider and adapt to the new normal by leveraging on digital technologies. And I would also like to congratulate the organizers for bringing together an esteemed panel of speakers to address the topics at hand. Right, so let me move on to the next slide. So first of all, let me introduce MDEC to all of you. Some of you may be familiar, some of you may not be. Now, you may be aware that MDEC started way back in 1996 when the government put in place plans to shift Malaysia from a production-based economy to a knowledge-based one. So some of you may remember that project launched by Tun Mahathir back in 1996 was called the Multimedia Super Corridor. So one of the primary focuses back then and even now has been to grow digital technology companies who are, especially Malaysian ones, right, who are fundamentally the nucleus or the backbone of the technology industry. And as you know, companies, they provide intellectual capital, development, innovation, jobs, revenues, as well as taxes for the government as well, right? And essentially, technology companies are utilized across all economic sectors to power their business and power their innovation, right? So today, MDEC's main three main thrusts are, first of all, talent development, right? Digital businesses. So digital businesses, both from a supply and demand point of view, and finally, technology investments into the ecosystem. So this would be attracting investments from both Malaysian companies as well as foreign companies. Now, my division, we come from the middle pillar here, digitally powered businesses. And the division is called Global Growth Acceleration, right? So this division works with Malaysian tech companies to promote and elevate them, right, into the global stage. So, and we do this by four main pillars, right? First of all, G stands for Gateway, right? We provide market access for Malaysian tech companies into both the ASEAN region, first of all, and then to the rest of the world. So today, we have established 8 business ecosystems around the world, and companies who wish to join this program, you can inquire from us, and then with this, by being part of the GAIN program, as we call it, you will be able to access these 8 markets. And the second area of intervention that we do for tech companies is called Amplify or Visibility. So we help Malaysian tech companies tell their stories to the world. So being Malaysians, sometimes we tend to be a little bit reserved, a little bit modest about our achievements. So this program we have helps Malaysian companies to be media savvy and to be able to come up with their stories that will not only put them in a good spotlight, but also helps to attract potential clients, business partners, and even customers. The third pillar that we do is we help companies with funding facilitation, meaning we create platforms for companies to access funding from various sources, including venture capitals, private equities, and even business angels. And the last pillar we have is called Nurture, where we help companies to find mentors and bring their business to the next level. So in short, the program is called GAIN or GAIN, right? And this program has been running since 2015. And today we have close to 150 companies in our portfolio. And all of these companies you see here on this slide here are all Malaysian companies. Many of them started, once the multimedia super corridor project was announced back in '96, and today many of them are doing really well. Some of them are listed, and all of these companies actually have a regional or global footprint. Now, so from here you can see we have many companies from different technology segments, right? All the way from financial banking and financial solutions, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, AI, and creative multimedia, right? And so MDEC will continue to support their growth into the future, especially with digital transformation high on the agenda of our economy. Now, certainly the global pandemic of COVID-19 has not spared any company. So just to share about a survey that we recently did, up to 86% of companies in the digital sector were impacted by COVID-19. And up to 60% of them said that they may need to reduce their workforce, right? Of course, some of them decided to relocate offices to cut costs. However, the good news is that while some companies are downsizing, we have also seen a number of companies increase their hiring, especially from the technology services side. So that is a good sign, right? And I think about 2/3 of the tech sector feel that the economy will pick up again in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So with that, I'm going to just quickly share with everyone a couple of what we call digital versus COVID initiatives that MDEC has initiated. Now, the first one is what we call a listing of technology companies on MDEC's website. So when the pandemic first hit Malaysia, when MCO was called in March 16, many SMEs, many companies were in a tight spot, right? They needed to continue their business operations, but many of them did not have an online presence at the very least, or did not have digital systems which enable them to continue their operations. So one of the very first things that MDEC did was open up our website, right, to allow tech companies, right, from all over Malaysia to offer their services and solutions to the SMEs and to the business community at large. So, so in a short span of about 2 months, over 400 Malaysian companies actually provided some sort of a pro bono or even discounted services to the business community. And MDEC helped them to list all their offers and their company solutions on our website. So this was one of the very first things we did to assist all the SMEs. And I think the good news is that we not only stopped at just listing tech companies, but I think moving on, MDEC has also launched couple of financial incentives in the form of grants for SMEs in particular, right? So the first grant, and some of you may already be familiar with, is actually called the SME Business Digitalisation Grant, right? So this is a grant launched by MDEC in collaboration with both Bank Simpanan and SME Bank to help SMEs jump on board the digitalization bandwagon, right? And a lot more details are found on our website, but I'll just cover this very quickly. So there are 5 solution areas that the grant will cover, from the digital marketing and for sales, right? Electronic point of sales adoption, HR on payroll systems or customer relationship management systems, CRM, procurement, and finally ERP solutions, including accounting and taxation solutions, right? So this grant is offered on a matching basis, up to 5,000 ringgit is applicable to any SMEs that signs up a solution from accredited solution providers that are listed on both MDEC and the BSN website, right? And of course, there is a quota for this grant up to the first 100,000 SMEs. And the next grant that we recently launched is called the Smart Automation Grant. So this grant is a little bit more substantial. And again, it's also aimed at SMEs to help support their digitalization journey, right? So this grant covers automation of business processes in the services sector. So there's a list of services sector that we have put up in our website. You may refer to it later on. This covers anything from logistics, retail, wholesale, warehousing, and so on and so forth. And it is meant for automation of business processes. So it's different from the first grant that I talked about earlier. And this grant is offered on a matching basis up to 200,000 ringgit, right? So there are a couple of outcomes that need to be demonstrated in order to receive the grants. And first of all, there are 5 key areas that we look for as a result of automation. Number 1 would be increase in revenue, right? Whether the automation helps you to find more customers, right? Grow your sales. Number 2, how that automation helps you reduce your costs in terms of cost outlay, or even reduction in process time or man hours involved. And finally, what we call new sources of growth, meaning the automation enables you to work with new business partners to expand your offerings and so on, right? So the project duration or implementation is up to 1 month, and the post monitoring of the results is up to 3 months, right? So there are a lot more details in the website, right? So please do go to the website and look for the FAQ, right, which will give you more details in terms of eligibility and so on, and how to apply and so on, right? So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very brief snapshot of some of the initiatives that MDEC has done during the COVID-19 period to help SMEs through the challenges. And should you have any questions on anything that I have presented this morning, please do write into our contact center, clic@mdec.com.my. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So with that, I thank you very much for your attention, and I hand the time back to our host, Lauren. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jesse. All right, guys, so let's give Jesse a big hand, a big virtual round of applause. Thank you so much for that. Jesse, we actually have a question that just came in for you right now. And of course, for the rest of you who are watching, if you'd like to know more about what Jesse has presented, go ahead and leave it in the Q&A box right now. We still have time to answer 1 or 2 of your questions. But if we don't have time, don't forget to just write into the email that you see on your screen right now. So Jesse, our question comes from Chooi. I believe I pronounced that correctly. I'm so sorry if I didn't. I'm trying my best here. But the question is there a limited list of service providers that we can approach to provide automation service, or anyone we engage is qualified to provide that service so I can claim the grant?
Okay, Chooi, okay, thank you for your question. So the way it works is that the SME needs to apply for the grant. SME is free to select any solution provider that they want to work with. So there's no constraint on who you want to work with. Assessment will be based on how how suitable that solution will be, and whether or not you, the SME themselves, have agreed to work with you as a solution provider to apply for this grant. So I hope that answered the questions. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Our next question that just came in is, for SAG, how do you track the expected outcome?
So the expected outcomes are the ones mentioned there. So I think the onus will be on the SMEs to demonstrate the benefits that they have achieved, right? Through the form of reports and through other means of validation, for example, electronic validation or demonstration of that benefit through the solution, right? So all these need to be detailed out in your proposal when you submit the application for the grants.
All right, fantastic. Now, another question just came in, and this one is, other than grants, is there any support from MDEC that is able to advise on how we can digitalize our professional services? For example, accounting services.
Okay. Well, the most straightforward way is to perhaps, in this case, of course, MDEC is independent from so-called recommending any particular solution for your company. But you can browse our website. There's the list of companies, technology solution companies that may fit your requirements, right? As I mentioned earlier, there are over 400 companies that listed their solutions on our website. Of course, not all of them they come from different types of solutions. So feel free to browse there, and you can contact any one of them there. So, but of course, we do not vouch for any of the solutions listed there. It is merely a platform that we provide for them to reach out to the SMEs. Yeah.
All right, super. I think we have time for one more question. This one's from CC Lau. Now the question is the quota for the digitalization grant and smart automation for SMEs still available?
By that, I take it you mean whether you can still apply for the grant. Yes, both grants are still open for application at this moment. It is not closed yet, yes. So it's still available.
Okay, so CC Lau, you know what to do and you know who to contact. Jessie, I think we're going to wrap things up right here. We are right on schedule, so thank you so much for being timely, and feel free to stay on for the rest of the day. We still have 4 more speakers and 1 panel discussion, but it was such a joy to talk to you. And one final question before you go. Do you have cats? Because I hear cats in the background.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Okay, so
cat. Or maybe it's the back. Maybe it's the alley cat. You know, in the back of the alley. Yeah.
All right, just to make light of the whole situation, because I heard cats throughout your presentation, so I was wondering if you're a cat person. But good to know. But once again, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, feel free to stay on. Thank you once again. All right, guys, let's give Jessie a big round of virtual applause. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.